Like many other Canadians, earlier this year I was selected, yay for me, to fill out the long-form census. Now, this is not just the few questions on the census that wants to know who lives in your house and how old everyone is, but this is the very in-depth census that's asking about things like home repairs, mental illness history, medical history, etc. And this was something that a great many Canadians did, not the majority. I struck out on the jackpot, apparently. But it got me thinking, how many people at Statistics Canada have access to that data? How many people at StatsCan are able to look at the individual census responses, whether long form or short form? Now, several months ago, I filed an access to information request with Statistics Canada, and what we were actually trying to find out is that very number. How many people, how many employees, and in how many departments have access to that data? Now, here was what Statistics Canada said in their reply. Only Statistics Canada employees can have access to census records, and only on a need-to-know basis. All employees are administered the oath or affirmation of office and secrecy once employed at Statistics Canada. Now, that's a very vague letter that says, oh, well, only those who have a need-to-know reason or basis get to actually find out the information. And the letter further went on to talk about a couple of people in key departments that might actually have access to the data, such as those in the pension search unit. They said that 4 employees have access to non-anonymized census program data from past censuses, as well as from the one in 2016. Just 4 employees, that's it. And then on another page, they said that the database unit, so basically the IT department, has 150 employees, but it says some of them might have access to it. They perform support or maintenance, but some of them might not. And it even says in the letter, there are approximately 150 employees who perform support and or maintenance to the database and associated systems and infrastructure, or perform quality check and record linkage operations, or conduct quality assurance processes. And it also says that not all of them might have access to the individual records. So really it was a non-answer. They said, well, there are 4 people that do and 150 people that might. Doesn't really answer the question. Well, looks like we lucked out, because a member of Parliament actually filed an order paper request in the House of Commons to Statistics Canada to find out just how many people have access to individual census data. And the number in the response wasn't the part that shocked me, but rather the list of which job titles afford people access. Now, this response was tabled this week in the House of Commons with the return of Parliament, and it actually lists the job titles that people in Statistics Canada may have in order for them to have access to all individual census response data. Now, the letter also reiterates what we saw in our access to information request, which is that access is only on a need-to-know basis, and people have to take an oath to secrecy. And some of the job titles on that list aren't overly surprising. You see pension search clerk, statistical clerk, junior statistical clerk, database administrator, program analyst. None of these are all that surprising. A couple did jump out, though, such as economists and sociologists. They should be looking at broad trends, not actually individual data. They shouldn't be able to pull up and see what Andrew Lawton said on his data. But also we have this one here which really jumped out, co-op student. Okay, well, I get that students need on-the-job training for their chosen career, so maybe there's a benefit to working in the department, not having access to all the information. But 2 really jumped out at me here. Warehouse person, shipping and receiving coordinator. Now, I'm not a factory type of guy, so I don't know how things work when you are in a warehouse or how things work when you're a shipping and receiving coordinator, but I'm pretty sure you shouldn't have access to 36 million people's private and personal data. Now, if this is what Statistics Canada thinks constitutes need to know, then we have much bigger issues, especially when they continue to tell us that the mandatory long-form census, which is a violation of privacy, is necessary and that all data is protected. If you're letting your warehouse people and your shipping and receiving people see the data, who else is getting access to it? For the Rebel.media, I'm Andrew Lawton.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.